Alright, we've got the LEATHL Corvette here, going over the catch can setup that we installed. For starters, the can is installed here and cut into the top of this heat shield that came with the A&A supercharger kit. We traced the flange in, and instead of using the extra bracket, we just installed it into this. It fits perfectly between the bumper support in the front and just in front of the radiator. And, you know, nothing rubs, nothing catches. This catch can kit is a recirculated style as opposed to open vent. It dumps fumes back into the inlet side as opposed to having its own filter. It's another option, but because the supercharger kit was already set up that way, we just enhanced the way that it was and used a larger fitting going into the air filter so that it will draw those fumes back in the intake tract. That is hidden, but it comes out of the front side of the catch can underneath the shield and wraps around and then gets sucked back into a pre-existing hole in the top of the air filter. We've got 10 AN lines, 2 of them, 1 to each valve cover. The A&A kit actually removes those stock PCV hoses and replaces it with one single hose from the radiator, or from the oil fill cap to the air filter, but with no can involved. So we've doubled the amount of flow because we now have 2 hoses, 1 to each cylinder bank on the existing ports. If in the future you want to upgrade this further, you could take apart the valve covers and install AN fittings that are larger openings than the stock valve opening, and then the little nipple for the hose. Or there's a lot of aftermarket companies that make very good aftermarket valve covers that have provisions for that already. So on the driver's side, the hose is really easy to see right here. We wrapped it around and ran it down along the fuel rails. We tucked in the alternator wire a little better. It was kind of just flopping around up top here, so now all the PCV and the alternator wire are bundled really nicely down the fuel rail here. The whole PCV system now uses the same black fittings to match the fast fuel rail products. Ours were purchased from Vibrant. These, I assume, came with the fast kit, but they're identically black anodized fittings and the same cloth braided line that looks really nice in my opinion. As I said, it goes to both valve covers, so where it splits is right here. This is a dual Y fitting. It's 10 AN on all 3, so it doesn't choke it down, and then this line goes underneath the intake. It goes next to the 2 supercharger brackets. There's a nice little opening on it on this side. It's not really under much tension on any sharp edges to make sure it doesn't get cut. And then this opening on this valve cover is sideways underneath the coil packs on this side. So we took the coil packs off so we could get the hose on there with a clamp and tighten it down. Same goes if in the future you wanted to upgrade further to a better valve cover or whatnot, and a lot of guys relocate the coil packs to clean up the look. That's something that is very easy to do. Is all you gotta do is get an appropriate fitting for the existing 10 AN line and connect it to your new covers. The Radium race grade catch can has a dipstick on it, so it's pretty simple. You can see it right here on the side. There isn't any minimum level required All this is to tell you that there is a level, because most cheaper catch cans don't have anything to indicate level, so the only way to check is to take it out and try and dump it out. This saves you that hassle. You can just check and see if you have an existing level in here. 0 is desired, so you know, any level you get in here you can drain away, and then how often you need to check it would be based on, you know, your experience with the motor and with the current boost setup and how healthy the motor is and whatnot. I would just start by checking it every time you fill up the gas and go from there. When you do get this to a level that you want to drain it, as I said, this is perfectly positioned between the radiator and the bumper support, and being that the Corvettes are a bottom breathing radiator, they have an opening down to the ground. So in front of the new front diffuser panel that we installed is where the drain hose for this comes down, and then just above, out of sight, is a red plastic valve that you can use to open and drain this into a catch can without having to use any tools or you know, extensive procedure to drain it. So I'll show you that. It's kind of hard, but the new front diffuser lip is right there. So, and then if you see from the front of the car at any normal height, you don't see anything out of place, just the black hose. But if you go up around the corner is the red little valve. It's a plastic valve, very easy to turn. So like I said, slide a drain pan under it, reach up, open that, you know, until it's done draining, and then close it, maybe wipe it off so it doesn't leave any residual drips or any kind of mess. And like I said, just keep an eye on the dipstick, and that's relatively straightforward.